Hey guys, what's up? It's Olivia. Welcome back to my channel, Olivia's Grad School Vlogs, where I like to share my experience as a media effects graduate student here at Penn State. This is technically my 4th week of the first year of my PhD program here, and so in this video I want to tell you about what my PhD classes are like. If you're interested in seeing more videos about my experience as a graduate student, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also give this video a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, then a little bit of background. So this is technically my first year in the Mass Communications PhD program at Penn State, but this is my 3rd year here. So I actually just finished my master's in media studies in the same college, and so now I'm just rolling right into the PhD program. So I am taking 3 classes. The first one is called Pro Seminar, and a lot of master's and PhD programs have a class of this nature. Basically in Pro Seminar you are learning about the field as a whole. So thus far we have talked about paradigms in media effects and mass communications. We've talked about the history of the field. This week we're talking about public scholarship and different things like that. So it's not like research articles that you're reading each week. It's more like broader pieces about the field as a whole. What I like about this class is that there are quite a few kind of real-world assignments, I guess. So real-world meaning it's preparing us for academia. So recently we did an assignment where we had to look at an academic journal and we had to get all these fast facts about it. So we had to get their impact score, which apparently is important when you're trying to get tenure. You want to publish in high impact journals. I had to note things like the scope of the journal, what fields typically publish in it. So I did the journal Body Image. It's where I got a lot of stuff for my thesis. Turns out it's technically a psychology journal. So I was looking at that, had to write down the different theories that they use in their papers, the topic of it, see if it matched the scope up, etc. So I basically reviewed over 400 articles and did a very crude content analysis on it. But it was a really good assignment because everyone chose a different journal, so we got to hear about what their expectations are, what their scope is, how they want you to publish, etc. So other things that we're doing is a book review assignment. We are also going to be doing peer review, and I feel like there's one other big assignment that we're doing. But yeah, so this class is a lot of reading, discussion questions each week, and then sprinkled in there are some really good assignments that are going to help us as we go into academia and become researchers. The next class I'm taking is called Pedagogy, which is basically the philosophies of teaching. So it's not a teaching course in the strict sense where they're here's how to lesson plan, here's how to format a lecture. It's more broader philosophies. So we're reading a lot from educational psychology, and to be honest, okay, so this is week 4, so I've had the class. It got canceled last week, so I've only had it twice, so not quite sure what's in store, but so far it's pretty laid back. So there is reading each week, but the 3 hours that we discuss, it's a discussion, you know? We're just talking about the readings and how we relate to them, and any questions or different circumstances we could see it playing out in different ways. During this course, we are going to be doing some practical assignments. So at some point I know we format a syllabus, and then we also create a teaching portfolio. Now apparently this is something that you need when you are applying on the job market to be a professor. So I'm really excited to be in a course that is actually kind of teaching me and guiding me on how to get that done. So this last summer I actually did the Graduate Student Online Teaching Certificate through World Campus, which is Penn State's online school, and that is where I learned more about interacting with students on discussion boards, and how to make a rubric, and different things to keep in mind when you're running an online class. This come in handy not only with the pandemic, but because my assistantship this term is actually teaching my own course. I am an instructor, so it's nice having just had that training, I guess, this summer, and now taking a philosophies of teaching class while I'm teaching, because I can apply things right away. So I'm very excited about this course. It's one of the courses that every PhD student at Penn State has to take because they do like to prepare you for both the teaching side and the research side. So I'm really excited that I get to finally take it. The last class I'm taking is in a different department, and it's on communication and well-being. So I learned that well-being is a super broad term apparently. But we're basically looking at how people deal with stressors, how they cope in different situations. Each week is like, I honestly don't understand how they're different, so we'll see once we get to the readings, but it'll be like relationships and coping, social networks and coping, communal coping. Anyway, it's looking at well-being from like a couple different angles and in different situations. So I'm excited because that's something that I'm really interested in. Obviously, I'm interested on it with like the media side, but I think it'll be good to at least learn the literature in these areas, to learn like what skills they use, what is the terminology that they use, what are some common theories and models that they use in this literature, even though it is more interpersonal oriented, and then I can just translate it over to social media. This class does have a final paper proposal, which is super common in PhD and even like my master's classes here. So basically by the end of the course we have to have a write-up of a study that we would like to do. So you have to do the entire literature review, have your research questions and hypotheses, have the method section, which includes the scales that you're going to use, what tests you're going to run. And yeah, so basically it's all ready for you to actually like get the IRB going and run the study. I do have an idea for a project, so I'm gonna go to office hours this week and ask my professor what his thoughts are on it. This well-being class has a lot of reading. It has a lot of reading, and I'm nervous because there are weeks where you have to like be a discussion leader. But if you're the discussion leader, you have to read like I think 4 extra articles when you're already reading like 4, 6, or 8 articles to begin with, and then you're doing a couple more, and then you have to write a 5-page paper on, which I know 5 pages isn't that long, but you have to do a 5-page like summation of the week's stuff and like what is all the literature surrounding this topic basically, and then we have to lead the class discussion for 45 minutes. So that's just a lot. So I'm nervous for whatever week I'm doing for that. It's going to be a lot, just because a semester with actually teaching a course, that is taking a lot of my time as well. Finding time for everything is a lot. I'm really glad that I haven't had like a normal week yet. Classes keep like having random cancellation days, so that's worked out well for me because that means I've been able to get stuff done. I don't know how I'm gonna get everything done when it's a normal week and all classes are in session. So every year I like to make a video that talks about how this year is different than my previous years in grad school or in undergrad. So how is PhD different than master's? So honestly, the main difference is that I'm just comfortable with my classmates. So even in my pro seminar where it's all of the new cohort, at least I know the professor. I haven't taken a class with him, but I've interacted with him. And then I know 2 of the girls in the class because we all did our masters here. So I feel comfortable participating and speaking, which is nice because that's always, I get the lowest grade in participation because it's so nerve-wracking to participate. But it's my 3rd year here. I'm finally confident enough to participate in class. It has been awful with, you know, the pandemic. So I've been to our graduate office a couple of times just to get work done. I wipe down everything with the Clorox wipe first, and then when I leave, I wipe everything with the Clorox wipe. We have to wear our masks. You're not supposed to drink or have food in there. And I've only seen 1 other person in there. So it's not bopping like usual. This last week we did have a Zoom social for all of the new graduate students, so that was really nice to get to interact with people a little bit. But anyway, that's my rundown on what PhD classes are like so far. Honestly, not different from my master's classes because I'm in the same department, taking the same classes with everybody. I will say this pro seminar for PhD, because we do have a master's version of it as well, like it's a good thing I did my master's first and then did this, because all of these concepts would have gone straight over my head if I had been doing that right out of undergrad. So the course is only different from previous years in that it is like at PhD level for sure, and I don't know, feeling good about it. I feel like I'm prepared to handle it, so that is nice. So if you have any requests for a video, please leave it in the comments down below. Also, tell me a quarantine activity that you have picked up. I need to get into baking fun things. I always go back to like brownies and cookies. Like I have my favorite recipes, you know. I might be making banana bread later. But I really want to try out some new recipes since like I'm here all day. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day. Keep German out loud, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.